which means inside our function, I can use the name of that structure, which is account. It said that's why now we come about the top, like the scenario or the topic based on the object. So there is an object and an opponent, or let me not mix that because I feel like I'm gonna be mixing it wrong. So now when we call the name of our structure, then we can start to name our what is it, our function, the other name. My name of the structure is called what is called the account. So when I say that, now I can say, okay, for example, because I'm using the account, what can I name for this one? So you must always use the name. I can also decide to use X, but you must use the names that you're gonna remember. So to make it simple, I can say the account. This is the name of account, like that. Now, when you have this function, you must reference it. You must reference your, because you are taking somewhere, you must have a reference every time. You must remember that if you are creating a function and you are calling from what a struct, you must reference that one. You must take into account. Then now when you have this function, you can write all the information that you want, but I'm not gonna waste much time there. But let me show you, because it's a new topic. You can just say see out, enter the account balance, enter your balance, enter balance. How do you, now what are you going to do? Because now we are working with something like an object, we must use a dot operator. You don't longer say now, because the variables that we need is this one which are here inside here, the structure. So we use a dot operator. The dot operator will know that, okay, this balance that a person enter is going to be stored in this one, the balance which is in the structure called BAL for us. So now when we use that, this balance now, remember this is math, is programming, it's mathematics. You are inside the structure. I just want you guys to understand so that you don't have a problem. Inside your structure, you have all this. So to access this, which means you must first get inside the structure, then after that, inside, if like you are in the house, let's say you are inside the house. If you are inside the house, the first thing you're gonna open the door. Then when you get inside, then you can see what to do. You can see, okay, I want that, I want to sit down, I want to watch the TV. You decide when you're inside, which means the same thing works accordingly, like as usual. I will start with the structure, then dot, what do I want inside there? Inside this house, there is balance, interest, and number of years. Then the first thing that I said here is balance, then which means I'm gonna say account dot operator. Even when you say dot, it will show you the computer there. Which one do you want to access? We want to access what? The balance. You click on the balance, semicolon. Then just by doing this, we have this is how you take, when a user enter that balance, that's how you take them so that it can be stored in balance if you are using a structure. So the moment when you get this method that I'm using now, you will never have a problem even when we are doing a class, because it uses the same method. It's all about the dot operator and the reference and how to call them, how to get inside this. So you have that. We might want also to know the interest. They are giving that our user in his or her account, but I'm just gonna make it simple. Enter the interest. When you enter the interest, we do the same. Where are we going inside? The account. Now, there is something that we did, you know, that I'm gonna show you something. I use the account, this one here. This one now, when I use it, it's not gonna work properly because I have said, okay, in order for me to get through inside there, I must get by the door. My door which I made there is called the account. So now when we are inside that function, we already declare, so you're going to use the account because this is a reference. We have passed the memory allocation address to the account. So you're going to use the D account. Here you must write D account. D account. So someone has said, hey, this thing is like getting somewhere. You are inside the void function. How do you get out before you open the door inside the void function before you go there inside there? So that's why we must first open that door, which like using the same memory allocation address, it's not the address of here, it goes straight inside there. So that's how you must remember. So now you can enter the results. We're gonna use the D account again, D account. When we say D account is dot operator, the interest rate we want is in terms of float. You put it's I there, semicolon. Then what's left is number of years. Then we can ask a user to enter the number of years. Same rules applies. So now we have written our void get data, which is finding the information about the user. Now we have all this information the user is going to enter in our function. So now when we have all this information, which means now you can see that, okay, we have gotten everything, the balance, you have gotten the interest rate, you've gotten the number of years. Now we're going to be left with the calculations. Now you can write a function to calculate. So it's up to you, how do you want to calculate them? You can calculate them inside the mint main. You can calculate them by creating another function. That's how you decide to do it. So to simplify things, the first thing, so that I don't confuse you, because I'm still going to confuse you a lot here, but we're gonna get to understand. So now we already have this, we already got this data. Now what can we do? You know that, okay, for calculating how much a person can have, we take the data, we can say a balance multiplied by interest plus balance multiplied by number of years. We can use the simple interest formula, which is simple. Then let me go to int main function. So now we are in the int main function. So inside int main function, remember here we need to access the way we were using the functions, the way when I was teaching you functions. When you're in the function, if you write a function, you have to also declare those variables that like you were using, like the account. You have to declare again the account. Then when you call a function, instead of using this value the account, you're going to put another different one, but it still work. I showed you when I was using X and Y when I teach you guys the functions. So now it's still the same as the one for what? It's still the same as the one for account. When you want to access the structure inside int main, you must also have, you must also declare it. You must call it. The way you call it, you check the name of our structure, which is account, and you give a name that you're gonna be using inside the int main function. So which means I'm gonna say here, I know that I have a struct called account, but now when I have struct called account, what name can I use inside int May. I can decide to use X. Let me use X. When I decide